Good morning po, Ambassador.
Good morning.
Sir, ano po yung magiging role ng Pangulo ngayon sa kanyang pagdalo, kauna-unahan po sa United Nations?
Indeed, yung pagdalo ngayon ng presidente dito sa New York ay napakalaking bagay. And malaking bagay ang ma-achieve nito. I should put it that it would achieve a great political mileage. By that, I mean that in the interaction of countries, it is very important that a certain level of comfort among countries and among the officialdom, the highest officialdom of countries, have this certain level of comfort and friendship and trust. And from here would come about as natural consequences actual and practical applications or benefits. Like when you talk about investments, business opportunities, it starts with real confidence, real friendship. So yan ang unang pinakamalaking bagay na that can be achieved. Imagine this is the best opportunity for our president to showcase himself, his country, his administration. And you have a number of heads of states and governments that would be listening to him. And he would have the opportunity to meet a few of them. And of course also the Secretary General of the United Nations.
The Millennium Development Goal po.
Yes, the Millennium Development Goals. There are 8 goals nito. And we must take the reference of 1990 and 2015. Yung 2015, yun ang kibali target dates na all those Millennium Development Goals are met. Now, the first target relates to the reduction, poverty reduction, cutting it into half. If your level of poverty in 1990 is some amount, some level, that should be cut into half. According to the information we had, we were really on track in 1998, but somehow it was derailed. But we still have 4 more years, and this is an opportunity to make it manifest to the international community that the Philippine government is committed to achieving these goals, these Millennium Development Goals. There are other goals related to that, like maternal health, child health, universal education, you know. Some of these targets we are quite okay, and maybe a little more push, and we will really be on track in meeting all these goals. The case of health, relating to health, one indicator about HIV and communicable diseases, you know. There is such a great stride that the Philippine government has done, and maybe under the new administration, with our new Minister of our Secretary of Health, you know, plans and programs, this can really meeting it 100%. It was just noted that maybe the HIV, we have little problem there because we are starting from a low base, and by the nature of numbers operation, you have a difficult, statistical indication. That's why you're high, but that's not really much of a problem. But one of the goals really is the 8 is about international cooperation, and this international cooperation, among other things, calls for new additional resources, not the traditional official development assistance. And this has been the bone of contention of many countries, that not much has been forthcoming. And that is why countries in international meetings, like here in the General Assembly, will make this point very, very clear. And I would suspect that one of the major points that will be emphasized by the President in his statement in the General Assembly is to really call for a heightened, strengthened international cooperation and coordination of global efforts to fulfill the Millennium Development Goals.
Sir, last two question. Sir, dun sa 8 goals ng MDG, in general, sir, from the scale of 1 to 10, nasaan ang Pilipinas?
Siguro, I would say nandiyan tayo sa 7.5 to 8 siguro. That's just my best approximation, you know.
Until
Because,
the time na...
yes, because, for instance, one such goal there relates to gender equality. We are almost there. I mean, we are really online, fulfilling, you know. And I must warn you as well that that's why I made mention that one of that goal relates to international cooperation. And there was some indication that some countries, some donor countries, in fact, they would give some kind of understanding that it is a repackaging of the official development assistance and not a real fresh and new resources, but it is being called for to fulfill all these targets, you know. So it's not just of course we have to do what we have to do, and for instance, if there is really good forceful good governance and all many things that must be done, it will inch up us higher in meeting our targets.
Sir, bago ang Pangulo dito sa United Nations, sir, sa mga among leaders, sir, excited naman sila na ma-meet ang Pangulo at marinig na magsalita ang bagong Pangulo ng Pilipinas.
Tama yun. Napaka-importante na makita niya sa lahat. And in fact, marami ang nag-antay na he will appear in the General Assembly because as I have said, countries and officialdom, the highest officialdom, require this level of comfort among each other, you know, they will feel. And many other things can follow thereafter. Still, there is premium to a personal interaction, to a personal relationship among heads of states or heads of government. And while we know that it is very important for him to really, for our president to be focused on what's going on in the country, the solution of the problems that must be solved, an engagement with the entire international community is part of that thing that must be done.